Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
Now, you said he touched your boobie. What else did he do?
This is episode 286, recorded May 28, 2025. I had to hurry before you answered that question.
Gruesome Magazine.
And that should give you an idea of what kind of movie we're covering today. My name is Jeff Mohr, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-hosts Bill Mulligan, Crystal Cleveland, and Chad Hunt, and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. Joining me tonight is Crystal Cleveland, actress and YouTuber. How you doing, Cleveland?
I am well. It is getting hot here. It's like freaking summer, y'all. That's crazy.
Wow, because it's rainy and overcast here.
Well, it's raining here too, but it's still hot. It's hot, and so now it's like muggy.
It's almost June.
Yeah, it's almost June.
That's just freaking...
This year has gone by so fast, it feels like.
This
All
was
right.
the coolest Memorial Day I think we've had in years. It's usually you're roasting at Memorial Day. And
that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Enough weather. On to sports.
With also joining us is Chad Hunt, comic book artist, of Decades of Horror, the all of them. Chad, what's up, brother, babe, man, guy?
Did you call me babe
just now?
Yeah, he did.
Well, apparently I'm not doing as good as I thought I was.
Oh, yeah, people guess it, yeah. Well, you did grow your beard back, so.
Yeah. Hey, and it's my birthday today.
Oh, yes.
Happy birthday.
Oh, that's right. We did get you a birthday cupcake.
We did?
Where? Ah!
She looks flustered that she can't blow out the candle there.
What the hell? Oh my
It's
God.
funny, the actress who played that was actually here in Raleigh just a few days ago at the Carolina Fear Fest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Eileen.
Eileen Dietz? Is that that's from Pazuzu, right? From Exorcist,
So we should talk about that offline. I'm definitely not saying stuff on the podcast about that, but
all right.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
Ooh, controversy.
Last but not least, Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, published author of ROM, and all-around nice guy. How you doing, Bill?
Great for summer reading.
You going to have any of those at Con Carolinas?
I will. I'll have a whole box of them.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. And Bill just went to Carolina Fear Fest last weekend, correct?
Yes, I was at Carolina Fear Fest last weekend, and I'm going to be at Con Carolinas this weekend.
Yay.
Excellent.
Me too.
Busy. And graduation is tomorrow. That's awesome. I didn't realize you were going to be there too.
Yeah. I got 3 panels to do Saturday.
Yay.
Which ones? Godzilla?
No, they actually stuck me in 3 that I have no idea what the topic is about.
Well, if I remember correctly, one is cryptids.
Not any longer.
Okay.
I'm in Making Your Dreams a Reality.
That's the other one I knew about.
Pixels to video games made into movies, and the other one is can't remember, but it's.
But you're well versed on the subject, whatever it is.
Yeah. I'm not sweating it.
He will be.
Good. Here on Decades of Horror, we are partnering with Play Now Media, a company that provides a plethora. Look that up in the dictionary if you're not
10 cent words
of streaming channels on different subgenres. And in fact, all of the Decades of Horror are on their streaming channels. So in particular, Decades of Horror, the 1980s, is on the Wicked Horror TV channel. And if you are not a subscriber, we have a promo code for you, DOH80, DOH all caps, 80. And for that, you will get 20% off your first payment. So if you do the monthly fee for $6.99 a month, you'll get $1.40 off. If you do the annual fee, which is $50, you'll get $10 off. That's the way I would go. And you also have to subscribe online on their website just search Playdown Media and look for their products on that page. And you must be a first-time subscriber. So,
it's worth it though.
It is. And they got a lot of stuff. I search through that every time I got to pick one. And then actually that's where I saw this one. On Wicked Horror TV, you can go, if you scroll clear down to the bottom, you can choose decades and by decades and scroll through them. All righty. On this podcast, we start by giving some basic details of the film we're covering, followed by each of our first impressions of the movie. And then we move into some general discussion of whatever trips our triggers, hopefully relating to the film. Oh yeah, we also have taglines. We have taglines in there.
Taglines with Chad.
My triggers always get tripped. So our movie today is Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker from 1981. And believe it or not, that's our lead's father in that jar.
The size of that head.
Yeah.
It is directed by William Asher, written by Steve Breimer and Alan J. Glueckman and Boon Collins. Now, somewhere I read that that actually means two different things. So if you have the word "and" in there, that means they were working together. It was co-written. But if you have the ampersand, that means they attacked it at different times, kind of like.
I see. Like they came in maybe and did edits after or something like that, or
so Breimer, I think Breimer and Glueckman were the main writers of the screenplay, and then this Boon Collins came in and did some modifications on the script.
Now, see, I thought I was going to live through my whole life and never know that fact.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at IMDb going,
that's a cool
why
one.
the hell does that say and ampersand? I don't get it. Why?
And I would have guessed the exact opposite of what reality was.
Well, and that's what I guessed too. And then when I read in the details on this movie, it said what I just said. So
yeah, I'm with you, Bill. I go straight to non-reality to get it, to get stuff.
Make a swag. The cast includes Susan Terrell, Jimmy McNichol, Bo Benson, Julia Duffy, Britt Leach, Marsha Lewis, and Bill Paxton. It is a production of Royal American Pictures, and it was filmed in LA on locations. Most of it. Filming dates, well, I don't know. I saw two different things. One said they started filming on September 15th, 1980, and another one said it was filmed in 1981. So I just don't know. And this is another one with varied release dates. 1981, a premiere in Albuquerque, New Mexico. November 20th, 1981 in Salem, Oregon. And then February 1982, the U.S. And you know what? Gosh darn it. How do I
Chicken
do that?
butt.
I think that budget is wrong. I think there was no budget. I didn't have any info.
No budget?
Budget at all?
I had no information on the budget. So just
okay. I was like, what?
Yeah, $130K seems a little low.
Yeah.
The synopsis: an orphaned teenager finds himself being dominated by his aunt, who's hell bent, I tell you, on keeping him with her at all costs. And there's a lot of stuff.
A lot more than that.
So, and this is also known as Nightmare Maker, Mama's Boy, Mother's Dead was the original, like the script title. Night Warning was a reissue, and we'll see some posters of that. Thrilled to Death was another alternate title, which is why people may not have heard of this. They just couldn't decide. The Evil Protege in UK.
No sense at all.
And a la Limita Cauchemar. I know I didn't say that right. In France, On the Edge of a Nightmare. Amenaza en la Noche, in Spanish, Threat in the Night. And in West Germany, Mrs. Lynch.
Wow.
Which is not even right because
her name sense.
Her name wasn't Mrs. Lynch.
No, she wasn't married.
Mrs. Lynch died in the first scene. Anyway, all right. So that's that. Let's get through that. Well, this is my pick, and I am going to go first, but I'm going to keep this short. It's In my opinion, there are 3 reasons to watch this. Susan Tyrrell, Susan Tyrrell, and Susan Tyrrell. She just is unbelievable. She is so off the wall. And there's a few other reasons why. Both Svensson plays an incredibly despicable character. And if you haven't heard of Jimmy McNichol, you probably weren't teenaged around 1980 or older, because he quit the business just a few years later. But he was hot stuff in all the teen magazines.
Really?
The
lead dude?
Yeah. And his sister, Christy
McNichol.
Okay, I've heard of Christy
she's not in that.
Like that. Like she has. What was she in? Oh my God!
I guess he was really hot.
Well, 8 is enough, wasn't it?
Was it Growing Pains or?
I thought it was 8 is enough.
That's all I'm going to say about this. And what a story! What a story! But there's so much to talk about. I'm going to skip and go on from there. So, Crystal Cleveland, had you seen this before?
No.
What did you think? I kind of know what you thought because you texted
this
me.
movie is insane. Okay, I did love it. Like, I think this movie's fabulous. I don't know what I expected, but I didn't expect this. I'll tell you that.
Nobody expects it.
It's gross and funny and weird, and it's not really even sad. Like, you don't care enough about the characters that should be sad to be sad about it, and it's not quite campy, but each performance is actually really good. The acting is phenomenal in this. Okay, like the big detective dude, how he like towers over the girlfriend. She's so little, and they really did make her look super young. And the blonde, I mean, this movie's just weird though. Like, yeah, it's so weird. So weird. And I was like, and a lot of it is Susan. Most of it is Susan. Because she seems so unhinged, but they don't quite go as far as they could go with this. Like, I've seen different types of films of this type of genre, this sort of like, but they get a lot darker than this. This actually stayed more light. I feel like it wasn't quite as disgusting. I had a feeling we were going to discover what we discovered in the basement or whatever when we did. I mean, that was obvious because she kept saying we and we. Okay. There's some questions left unanswered for some reason. Like, I don't understand why she did what she did to the sister and stuff. I'm very confused with a lot of it. I don't think some of it makes sense, and the detective is absolutely unhinged, and I mean, then he just kills him. And it's like, okay, I mean, he deserved it, don't get me wrong. He's a horrible person and clearly thinks he's the smartest person in the room all the time, but it's like, this movie's a trip. If you haven't seen it, definitely see it. Like, I probably will watch it again. The first time I watched it was literally today, and I think I was just watching it with my mouth open most of the time. I think I need to process it some more because the use of the F word and how this detective dude, I mean, I'm wondering if the detective dude wasn't gay himself.
I was wondering that too.
Continually calling people the F word,
He's
and I'm
way
like,
too into it.
why is he so serious? Oh, well, he was only raised. His dad died. He was only raised by women, and it's like, oh, what a trip. So the movie's just wild. Yeah, I did like it. I'm glad I watched it. I'm like I said, I'm probably gonna watch it again. I'll probably watch the Joe Bob version next, so I can get that sort of insight, all the jokes and behind the scenes and stuff like that. So yeah.
Okay. Excellent. And Mr. Chad Hunt, how about you?
I agree with Crystal. This is the most insane movie I have seen coming out of the 80s, and I've seen some shit. I've been around the block a few times. Not saying that it's bad. I like this movie. It's the performances, especially by Miss Terrell, are mind-blowing, to say the least. She plays this type of role so perfectly. But yeah, there's some weird stuff going on with the story here, and I'm thinking that this maybe could have been written a lot darker than it actually turned out to be.
Yeah.
And they eased up on it a little bit, even though they do toss around some slurs and stuff like that. I thought the same thing, that Bo Svensson was actually, a repressed homosexual man who was not willing to accept it. And I felt that was way the case there, especially as it got more and more into it. But just the performance alone by Susan Terrell carried this movie through to the end. She played crazy like no one. It had some good gore in it, some good makeup effects, stuff like that. There's some dead bodies and heads in jars like we just saw, and stuff like that. So there's some grisly stuff in there too. But the performances are what got me. I've never been a fan of those what do you call them, McNichol kids. I did like Christy McNichol. I had a crush on her growing up, but I grew up around that time when he was on every magazine cover and and I was just like, bleh, by the end of all that. So so I hated that guy. So when I was watching it, it just took me back to hating seeing magazines. I wanted Kiss and Blue Oyster Cult on my magazine covers, and all I could see was Jimmy McNichol's face everywhere. So, but yeah, it is a good movie. I must admit, I wasn't planning on liking it too much, but yeah, it's a good movie. Good movie.
Excellent. And last but not least, Bill Mulligan.
Well, it's unanimous because this goes into my top 10 80s films. And I thought I had seen this, and what I had only seen up to the first murder, and then something must have called me away because it was good up till then. It has a killer opening. But I hadn't seen the rest of the movie. So after pretty quickly in, I realized, oh, this is all new to me. And man, I missed some of the best stuff because Susan Terrell, we can't say it enough. She's phenomenal. I'll talk more about her when we zero in on her, but she's great. But the movie's smart. She's terrible. What she does is awful. Innocent people suffer. She's bad, but she's crazy. And that's sort of forgivable. She's broken. Terrell is just really good at playing these characters that are wounded, and you feel sad for them. She's like a little broken bird that's fallen out of the nest. And it also helps that, okay, she does evil things. She's crazy, but Bo Svensson is just despicably evil. He's just, you're not going to, God help you, you're probably not going to run into too many women like the Susan Terrell's character, but unfortunately you probably will run into people like Bo Svensson.
Yeah.
And he's so unlikable. It almost feels like he's there to let us have some sympathy. But boy, this is just really solidly done. And I never would have predicted this. We'll talk about the director. Nothing in his history makes me think he'd be good for this. But he knocked it out of the park, and I regret he didn't do more horror. He was just sort of brought into this as a hired gun, and it's everything about this is good. You see Bill Paxton again looking so young. It's heartbreaking. And this is just a really solid movie. It really is. Maybe the ending is a little implausible, but we've invested so much up to that point. I like the fact that in defiance of the usual 1980s grindhouse thing, they go out of their way to give us a happy ending, as happy as it can possibly be, with a bunch of characters that are going to spend the rest of their lives in therapy. This is this is just a really solid, good movie. Needs to be known more. So I urge anyone, by whatever title you can find it, go out. And I did watch the Joe Bob Briggs version. That's always entertaining because he and Darcy bring a wealth of material to the film, and just really, really good. Check it out. So thanks for picking this, Jeff.
Well, we had talked about it, and there's a couple of reasons I picked it, but the main reason I picked it was Susan Terrell, because I love her so much in Angel, and I didn't realize she was in it till later. I hadn't seen it before either. So, all right. Well, now is the time when we do Taglines with Chad. It's played by Chad, his own self.
Yep.
Not very many, dude. I looked. I tried to find more.
Hey, you can't weasel out of this by muting yourself, Chad.
You're still muted. Oh, see?
He did his best.
Okay, and those are your taglines.
Nice try.
Taglines for Butcher, Baker,
Nightmare Maker.
Nightmare Shaker.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Leaf Raker.
Mm.
A haunting rhyme for bedtime.
What?
It rhymed.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It's
Read-
based on,
read it.
that whole title's based on a little rhyme.
It's a take off a nursery rhyme, which actually wasn't so innocent. We'll talk about that later.
No.
Wow, that was.
Remember
weird.
Rub a Dub
So
Dub,
weird.
3 Men in a Tub?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Wow, I'm just getting a blank stare.
Rub a Dub Dub, 3 Men
Yeah, I
in a
remember
Tub,
that.
and who do you think they be? The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, and all of them out to sea. But
I see. I don't know that. No. Sorry.
apparently, the original was
3 Men in a Tub is freaking weird to
Okay,
sing
now
to
wait.
a little girl.
Now
to
wait.
sing to
Oh,
a
it
little
gets
girl.
better. Okay,
So,
wait a
yeah.
minute.
Hey, rub a dub, ho, rub a dub, 3 maids in a tub. And
Hmm.
who do you think were there? The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, and all of them gone to the fair. Apparently,
What?
back around the, centuries
the heck?
ago, this was like the equivalent of a peep show.
Wait, what?
They-
Wait.
I'm not
What?
kidding. They put these 3 maids in a tub. It
Mhm.
suggests the lyrics are illustrating the scene of 3 respectable townsfolk watching a dubious sideshow at a local fair.
Oh.
What?
Okay. I don't even know what life is
You can't
anymore.
make
Okay.
that stuff up. This stuff was all referenced. I believe it completely.
The good old days.
All right. Well,
All
the
right.
others won't take that long. I got no background on that.
They didn't go looking for trouble. They just were too curious. Now they know too much to live.
Ugh,
No, that doesn't even make any sense.
no, terrible.
All right.
Well,
How about this
the
one?
cop and the neighbor lady and the girlfriend.
Okay.
Anyway, all right.
It's a stretch.
She was lonely.
Oh no.
He was all she had.
Mm,
No
okay.
one would take him from her and live.
Okay, that's fine. That's
Yeah, that's
exactly
good.
the movie. Okay,
tells you,
that's just fine. Whatever. Yeah, no problem.
And that's been
Oh, that's it.
Taglines
Okay,
with
wow.
Chad.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
For all the younger listeners out there, rad used to be a term used back in the 80s for so cool. You
Rad
can't
is-
contain it all.
Rad
That's
By-
rad.
Still
By so
popular.
cool, we mean the cat's
Mhm.
pajamas.
Yeah. The bee's knees, as
The
it
cat's
were.
meow, isn't it? The cat's meow.
So we've kind of talked about this. Somebody, I think it was Crystal,
Maybe I'm
was referencing the F word, and it wasn't the
Yeah, the usual. one.
sexual act F word. It
Yeah.
was the homosexual slur, and they did say that was the detective, and he was a despicable character. But this was, at least according to some of the stuff I read, was really ahead of its time in showing a positive homosexual characters. He was the basketball
coach.
coach was a
Yeah.
homosexual, and he was probably the most principled,
Yeah,
the only
Yeah.
a principled adult in
For
this.
sure.
he was the
Yeah.
most
Well, the
decent
one
person in
cop
the
was,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one cop was good too.
All right. Well, Bill's rounded up some posters, and we're going to start
Yeah.
with the French one.
Oh. Okay.
I'm running
Yeah,
and reaching.
I'm running from the
Why is that
Amityville
house
Horror.
so lit up?
Apparently,
Yeah, running
Yeah,
from the
like
house.
what's up with that?
All right. And then we have Spanish.
Susan looks insane.
know,
Come
I
on.
know.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't think Jimmy McNichol never looked like that. He makes him look like a juvenile delinquent.
it's way cooler there. Yeah.
But we got some colors.
kinda cool poster.
Amenaza en la noche.
It's another
Yeah.
house that never showed up in the movie.
I don't even know what the house looked like, to be honest with you. I can't really remember.
It's got
Well,
rats
yeah.
in the attic. I know that.
Yeah. This was the reissue title, and
This is the one I remember
Uh,
seeing in the video stores.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I did too.
an award to anyone who can come up with why the hell either one of the titles, Nightmare or Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker, or Night Warning, make any sense with this movie.
They don't. I don't. Not to me.
Okay.
Yeah. It's weird.
But that's a better
It's a cool poster for a completely different movie.
Yeah.
ice eyes,
Yeah.
shades of black.
Night Warning looks just like
Violet.
every other 80s VHS tape
True.
that was sitting on the shelf at the time. And that's probably why they used it, because it looked like a different kind of horror film.
And I remember the back of this should have gotten me to rent it. There's the picture where McNichol and Terrell are sitting at the table, and she's just drenched in blood. And
I saw that as a couple of posters, but I didn't pull them up because there was no, I don't know. I think it was video boxes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, she was drenched in blood. Had her glassy-eyed look.
yeah,
And this is the, I guess the regular one.
which
Now,
is interesting.
Your
It
flies
is.
open.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
boy,
weird.
oh boy, is it open. They're playing the guy behind. I'm assuming that's Jimmy McNichol in the front,
Mm-hmm.
and the person behind him, you can't really tell if it's a girl or a guy.
It should be Susan.
It should
after
be.
she cut her hair is what
I
it
know.
looks like to me. But
I thought it was a
I mean-
girlfriend and Susan is the eyeball looking out. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just an artist.
Well, it's definitely ambiguous. Let's put it that way. All right. Well, this that's it for the poster. Yeah, we have two naked people. With and the guy in the front has a. It's like if you had a zipper. I
Like
don't
you're
know where
parting a
zipper
shower
is.
curtain.
Yeah, like yeah.
See, I
and
thought it
you-
was someone holding a
It is.
butcher
Oh,
knife.
a
or
knife,
something and
yeah.
It's a knife.
reflecting,
It's a
but,
knife. I'm sorry, but yeah.
But
Reflecting
still.
the face. All right. So first, we want to talk about how this originally started out as being
Uh-oh.
directed by Michael Miller.
Who did Jackson County Jail, which is one of
I
your
don't know
classic
any of
drive-in
these
grindhouse.
movies.
And I never saw Street Girls, and Silent Rage is Chuck Norris versus undead immortal serial killer. So
Which I
and
love.
he started out pretty strong. I mean, because the opening sequence,
Yeah. So here's the
it's so good.
car wreck is really a really good car wreck.
Yeah. Oh, it's I was thinking about it being like Final Destination.
Yes.
The log truck. So I
Yeah.
was like, wow, Final Destination before Final Destination.
Yeah, and the log comes
Fun.
through the car, takes his head off, and then it whips the car around, and then there's the boy's mother is trying to climb out of the car before it goes over the cliff, and then there she goes.
And they do a good job of even before the log truck horror. Just their brakes are cut. They're going down this mountain. They're fishtailing everywhere, and it's really well shot. And you realize this movie was a cheap movie, but that looks as good as a lot of Hollywood stuff I've seen. Better, actually. It's a great opening sequence.
I never buy those type of, oh, they cut the brakes. Why does nobody
Yeah.
ever just take their foot off the gas
Mhm.
and hit the emergency brake and you'll stop? That never, because these guys he looked like he floored it as soon as he found out, hey, I don't have any brakes,
Yeah.
but it's that way in every movie like that.
Well,
They
but
just speed up.
you're going downhill too on the
It's
Well,
easy to
that's the
think of
way
the
I
right
look
thing
at
to do when you're sitting there podcasting, but if you're actually in an out of control car going down a mountain with a cliff on one side and
I've got a
mountain on
story
the
to tell you.
Oh yeah.
Then when my brother and I were young, my dad pulled up to one of the guys he was working for, up to his house. And we lived in Boon at the time. So there's mountains, hills. We were parked on his driveway, which is on an incline. My brother's playing around in the front and I'm in the middle and my mom's on the passenger's side or whatever. My brother knocks the car into neutral. So I freeze. I'm just going, I freeze. I can't move because we're going backwards and we're rolling backwards down the hill. My mom's fighting, trying to get the car shifted back into drive or do something to stop the car. And all of a sudden, bang, the car stops. And the two wheels on the back hit two stumps perfectly dead on. 3 or 4 feet beyond that was a drop off of about 25 feet.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
But the car didn't blow up, thank goodness, like this one did. But still.
So my version of that is the guy I told you about the little kid calling the
dirty old
guy
bastard.
walking out of the street, you dumb son of a bitch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was it.
The same guy, the grandpa, they were at our house and these kids were playing we had a driveway on a hill. It was a short, steep hill of a driveway. They were playing in the car and they kicked it in neutral or took the parking brake off. I don't know what. And it started rolling down and the front door was open and the guy was standing there and he tried to climb into the car, but he couldn't. So he fell down and the car rolled over him. His leg slid under the car and it rolled right over his crotch. He was black and blue from thigh to thigh. Had to go to the hospital for a few days and kind of swelled up. He was very proud of that too.
That's not funny, but
he'd show
funny.
anybody who came in the hospital
I'm
room.
sorry.
Did you ever see anything like that? Like, no, and I didn't want to. All
Look
right.
at me. Look what I got.
Yeah. Hey.
I was black and blue and swollen, but on the ass from
Yeah.
not getting the hell out of the way.
Well, this one, they rolled down the street, went across the street, knocked down the neighbor's fence in their backyard and stopped in their backyard. Didn't hit anything else, but all right. So to throw in, to talk about this car crash scene, Jan de Bont was the cinematographer during the same week that the Michael Miller was the director. And we know him from tons of stuff. He's got a great history of directing and cinematography. He directed Speed.
Twisters.
I was thinking he directed Die Hard too, didn't
So
he?
Bill Pullman was in Twisters. So that's
Or
Twister,
cinematographer for Die Hard. Anyway, so they had this great talent there, and the producers got mad because they took too long. That was the first scene they shot, and they thought it took them too long, so they fired him.
Oh,
Nice.
After a
I
week.
mean, a scene like this is going to take a little time if you do it right, and they did it right. Well, no good turn goes unpunished.
that's for sure.
Anyway, moving on to the director we got, William Asher.
This guy.
You're right.
This guy, in a million years, he's like, here's his resume. I'm like, oh, no, this is not going to work. He did 102 episodes of I Love Lucy. He basically created Bewitched because this son of a bitch was married to Elizabeth Montgomery.
Oh, he was? That's
Yeah.
fun. That's
So
neat.
he
I've
created
seen
and
pictures
directed
of
all
this
the
guy.
episodes of Bewitched.
He should have been married to Ethel Mertz, but whatever. And then he did all the good, as good as they were, beach blanket bingo movies, How to Stuff a Wild Bikini, and all of those Annette Funicello, Frankie Avalon Beach things, which I'd like to see another one of them again. It's been a long time since I saw them. I just remember that they were stupid, but they were kind of crazy, like breaking the fourth wall, and there's just little bits and touches that were in
Right.
there.
There was a
And he
couple
did
of
one called The 27th Day, which is actually a cool little
Yes.
science fiction movie.
Yeah, I watched that not too long ago. I think it was probably on one of the Play Now Media channels. That is a very strange one. You have 27 days to decide.
So, I mean, you know, in terms of how many things did he direct? A lot of things. And I'm sure if you have a movie, rightly or wrongly, that you feel it's not getting done fast enough, you turn to someone like this who was able to produce really great three camera situation comedy things that were cinematic, and he was able to do it on a weekly basis. So it makes sense that they would go to him. I'm just really surprised it worked as well as it did.
Well, we did on Classic Hero, we did The Ghost in the Invisible Bikini, which is like, I think the last one of those.
I'm not sure he did that one.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Okay.
But just, I remember watching those when I was a kid, and there's a lot of recurring characters that are fun, like Eric Von Zipper. And they all had the same girl in the bikini with a fringe on it, doing it, dancing and shimmying, like doing almost like a belly dance and shaking the fringe. And there was some guy named Moon Doggy who was, the dumb
That was
surfer.
a Gidget, wasn't it? In Gidget?
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe I'm crossing them.
You look at the cast, you see Mickey Rooney and Buster Keaton would show up in these. It was wild.
He did the Mr. Beavis episode of The Twilight Zone, which is the.
I mean, how many credits does he have?
Just Meredith, or no, Orson Beans. I'm sorry, it was Orson Bean. He said, the first episode of Lucy that he did, I Love Lucy, was the Ethel and Lucy in the Chocolate Factory.
Oh my God. Yeah, where they're eating the candies.
That was the first one they did, and I guess they liked him. So
he wasn't afraid to, push things to over the top. And according to what Joe Bob was saying, that's what he basically told Bo Svensson and Susan Terrell and their characters is dial it up to 11, just keep pushing it. And boy, did they.
Yeah, go bigger and then go bigger. I think was they did. They certainly did. So he does a really good job on this. I'm with you. I wish he'd have done. He did like 27 episodes of Alice, if anybody remembers that. 7 episodes of Gidget. 9 episodes of the Patty Duke Show. And I think I read that they originally wanted Patty Duke to do the Aunt Cheryl part. Is that?
Oh, geez.
Oh, no. That wouldn't have worked at all.
No. I could see everyone turning this down, and then it comes to Susan Terrell, and she's like, yeah, that seems that's.
So Jimmy McNichol.
I swear I have never seen this dude's face before ever in my life.
That's because you weren't
talking about.
A girl growing up in the 70s or whatever, 80s. My sister was like really into Tiger Beat magazine. You ever heard of that?
16 magazine.
Yeah. Tiger Beat magazine is just basically pictures of Bobby Sherman and David Cassidy. And they would give you their addresses and you could write letters to them. And they had my favorite part, and I love this. They had little stamps in there that you could lick and stick onto this envelope that you're sending off to your heartthrob here. And they said, I'm a Tiger Beat reader. Open me first. And as he's going through, the mailman is just dumping like letters to Santa Claus. He's just swimming like Scrooge McDuck in all these letters. But he sees yours like, whoa, a Tiger Beat reader. I'm opening this one first.
Yeah. Remember when there was no internet?
That's brilliant, though. Because
so this is the
kids. Yeah.
And Leaf. What was that kid's name? Was it Leaf?
Leaf Garrison.
Leaf Garrick.
Yeah. Garrison. Wasn't it Garrison?
Right. I don't know. Well, here's
Leaf
an
example.
Sexy Star of the Month, Jimmy McNichol.
There he is.
Okay. He kind of looks like his sister, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
did.
look alike.
They look
yeah.
a lot alike.
Um,
But other
Yeah.
people in there were Chachi was in there.
Oh yeah,
Looking at
Chachi.
this hair is giving me some flashbacks. I don't want
Eric
to dwell on.
Estrada, which is kind of weird, but I'm just looking at covers. So I'm tired of read.
I was
Anyway,
practically in college before I finally figured out what to do with my hair, which was not this. Oof.
and you were just supposed to know who they were because they would just the cover would show pictures and say, Peter says, share Christmas with me. You just
Oh
are
my
supposed to know who Peter
Yeah.
is. You
Who
don't
the
have to
hell
know
is Peter?
Jimmy's dating rules. Can you follow them?
Yeah, it was like the Inquirer for teenage girls.
It was.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh my Lord. But you know what? He was a little stiff in this from my point of view, but I thought towards the end he really got when it really got emotional, he was doing a pretty
Yeah.
good job.
The problem he has is almost every scene he's in, he's with Susan Terrell. You can't take your eyes off of her. Compared to almost except for
Oh,
Bo
she was
Svensson, everyone
naked
else in
in
this movie is
too.
just like receding into the background. I had to keep watching her because she would just do something with her eyes or suddenly look creepy and then go back to being,
Yeah. Oh my
it's
God.
all over the place. I mean, you could say she's chewing up the scenery. I guess she was, but it works.
Yeah.
To the point where there was no scenery left, but it was awesome. Yeah. So his girlfriend in school. So this guy, how old was he when he made this?
Had to be older than 17, considering he was
Yeah.
completely naked.
How creepy was that scene where he's just
Yeah. And he acted like it was nothing that she
because
came
that's how
in,
he was
too.
raised.
He was
This
he
kid
was
needs so much therapy.
he was probably 19 when they filmed this. He
Okay.
was born in 61, and then his girlfriend is Julia Duffy,
Who is way older than we think.
30.
She's 30.
What?
I know, look at
Oh,
her.
Wow. I like her. Oh, she was in Newhart.
Yeah,
Is that
she was.
Newhart? Okay, yeah.
She was the where he had the hotel.
Yeah, what was her husband was like Peter Scolaro?
Yeah.
Or something.
That was a good show.
Yeah, it was.
It was, and she was good. I always liked her. I wish
She's cute.
but you know what,
Mhm.
Chad? Did you think she was? I mean, she didn't look like she was 30.
No,
No.
there's
No,
no
no.
way. I thought she was younger than Jimmy McNichol, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Her acting really helps, and then the fact that she's very short.
Yeah, she's very short. Like that's what I was saying. When the dude who played the detective, I know he's like 6'6", so he's tall. But when he was like, he actually was leaning over her. He made her even look
Mhm.
tinier
Yeah,
than she
yeah.
was, you know.
Boy,
So
Jimmy's really into older women. I mean, he's got his aunt calling
I'm
him,
sitting here
and then
thinking
even
that
his high school girlfriend is 30.
I failed on purpose just so I could be with him.
I wanted to do a nude scene with a 30-year-old woman, so I went into acting. So I'm sure that wasn't it,
Ew.
but anyway, it's odd. That stuff was.
Did he say
crossing-
that?
No, he didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. Sorry. I was like,
And
listening to
Susan,
this
Susan
podcast,
Terrell
Jimmy.
was 35 when they filmed this.
So she's the same.
she's only
practically
5
the
years
same age.
older.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a,
Wow.
But it could have been, I mean, she apparently had him when she was fairly young, so
Mhm.
she could have easily been about 38. He's supposed to be
Sure.
17 or still in high school.
Does anyone understand why she killed her sister?
She
They have the
changed-
kid,
Yeah.
But
they were
she
moving
had
away.
the kid already.
but they were moving away, weren't they?
I don't
Or were they
know.
just
Like
going
they
on
left
vacation?
without her. I mean, they left without the kid. I think I felt like that was like misdirection. Like I don't think that I don't know. It's weird because yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand it.
It's very easily
the whole thing was
explained.
weird.
Crazy people are crazy.
Well, that's true. That's for
Let's look at
sure.
Susan Terrell. We might as well get into.
I got a
these.
few on
She
her.
is
Boy,
just-
oh boy.
And you're right. What Bill's right. If you're watching this movie, you should, anytime she's in the scene, you should fix your eyes on her, because she is going for it 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Even if someone else
Constantly
is
doing something.
talking.
Yeah.
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 Whatever else is going on, there's something going on in her head, completely divorced from what else is happening, what anyone else is saying. She's got her own conversation going.
You watch her mouth moves in weird ways, her eyes dart back and forth. She's doing things while the camera's not even on her, which I thought was great. It was awesome.
Now, here's the crazy thing about her.
Yeah.
Her first movie, or her first where she burst on the scene, was Fat City, directed by John Huston. She doesn't have very many good things to say about him. So I had to go watch it. It's not usually my cup of tea. It's one of the most depressing movies I've ever seen in my life. Oh, it's just sad people living in poverty, dealing with drugs and alcohol. It's just, you watch it and you'll feel better about your own life choices. But her role, oh my God, she is so good. And she got nominated for Best Supporting Actress right out of the blue, because it's a great role. It's so sad and vulnerable and true to life. It probably typecast her. So right out of the gate, she is nominated for an Academy Award. That's usually, wow, that's the road to superstardom. But it seems either she was just too quirky for most Hollywood roles, but a lot of it seems to be that really wasn't what she wanted. She was more interested in doing small, quirky things. She was very selective. I don't know that she actually liked acting in movies that much. It's just she did enough to pay the bills. But she has some interesting choices. And if you haven't seen Forbidden Zone,
yeah,
the weirdest movie ever made. It's like if Pee Wee Herman were gay.
What?
He was.
Well, he wasn't this gay. You gotta see Forbidden Zone. It's indescribable.
She what did he say? I don't think she was married to him, but she lived with, like, her partner was Hervé Villechaize.
Yep. Who co-starred with her in Forbidden Zone. Yeah, they lived together because why not?
The guy, what was his name in
Tattoo?
Fantasy Island, yeah. The planes, yeah.
One of the funniest things a couple of years ago, they made a movie about him, and Peter Dinklage played him. Which,
wow, really?
Yeah, and a bunch of people got upset that Peter Dinklage. Because why is Peter Dinklage, a white guy, playing Hervé Villechaize, a Filipino?
Yeah.
And they got in great umbrage about this, and they're writing letters, and then it was, revealed he wasn't Filipino. He was French. He's a white guy. He was a white guy playing a white guy. I don't think they should really get upset. Well, he's not French. So they basically just look like jackasses. I haven't actually seen the movie, but I love Peter Dinklage, and it's like
her quotes are great.
Yeah.
One of them was, I'm a loner. I don't like beautiful people, but I find beauty in the grotesque.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then the last thing my mother said to me was, Susu, your life is a celebration of everything that is cheap and tawdry. I've always liked that. And I've always tried to live up to it. I hate success. I have the ambition of a slug. I work when I need the money, which is about once a year. Success freaks me out.
She seems like she would have been awesome to hang out with.
She says the more successful you are, the more crap you're offered. So it seems like the less I work, the more I get the special things. Anyway.
It's probably true.
Sadly, toward the end of her life, she contracted a rare blood disease, and she lost both of her legs. They had to amputate her legs beneath the knees.
Whoa!
But I think as an example of how well liked she was. So Johnny Depp and a bunch of other stars put on, raised money for her and did some things. Yeah. But she, she didn't do enough stuff, but she's left a legacy. And I think it's my goal now to seek out everything she ever made.
Well, I've seen some of her movies, but I can't remember them, like The Killer Inside Me. I think it's from a Jim Thompson book, if I remember
She's
right.
in From a Whisper to a Scream.
Yes, and I don't remember that. We reviewed that, but I don't remember her part in that.
I believe.
I think she's the wife that is giving the guy the bath in the bathtub or something. Or
No, I think she's either the one who gets executed in the beginning, but I think that was Martine Beswick, or she's the reporter who's interviewing Vincent Price. I may be wrong. It's been a while since I saw it.
Anyway, got to go check that stuff out. She only, in terms of IMDb, she just has 80 credits.
Most of the roles are small. I think one of the last ones people saw her in was Big Top Pee-wee.
She played the little wife.
Crybaby.
Yes,
y'all.
Crybaby,
That's the
yeah.
only film that matters. Like, what are you talking about? Like, well, Pee-wee. That would be close.
But unless I'm wrong, this is the one that probably is the biggest role that she has.
Wow,
in
really?
films.
That's
The biggest part.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's so
she's awesome. So here's some other shots Bill put together. She just every time. And then in that scene there, where that top picture is, where she's cradling his head and feeding him her drugged milk. Afterwards, she licks it off his neck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her son.
I can almost hear the groans from the audience. So so Crystal and probably every other person picked up exactly what the deal was here. I was going in a different direction because I didn't want it to be as creepy as it was. I thought that the guy whose head she has, her ex-boyfriend, had impregnated her sister. So in her mind, Jimmy was now like her boyfriend reborn, which would make it a little bit less creepy than the reality, which is that she's licking milk off of her son, her actual blood son,
and tickling his bare back.
Okay, so oddly enough, though, okay, I do think it was sexual-ish, but I think she was not trying to have sex with him. Okay. Like, I do think that she didn't want him to be sullied by that girl or anything. I really think that she wanted him to live like a cleaner life, but she was inappropriate with him. And I think that was partially her loneliness and partially her seeing his father in him. Okay, so I'm not justifying it. Trust me, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's gross and weird. That's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't go as far as I've seen other things.
Yeah, no, I agree. I kind of agree with you. I
so.
think you can look at it as what seems sexual to us. If a mom has a little toddler, a little naked boy toddler, and he's running around, she spanks him on his bottom, or whatever. Okay, that's fine. And she
treats him like a
treating
baby.
him like
If you realize, yes,
when she fixes up his room, he's got like toys appropriate for an 8-month-old.
Well,
so her going in there when he was naked was not that big of a deal for her or him, which is weird.
Well,
but like they acted like it was nothing. You know,
if you grow up that way, I guess you assume that's kind of normal. I don't know. But
whenever when I was a baby and I had milk all over my face or whatever, my mom would just pick me up by the ankle and dunk me in the tub a few times until it was gone.
Yeah.
But at no point did she ever lick it off me.
So there are a lot of...
Too bad for you, Chad. Too bad for you. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't always run into this when we do movies.
Now there's a hole in me that I can't fill.
Yep. You'll never know if you're really loved. You'll never know.
Oh, wow. Wow, this got dark.
We need to write this story, Crystal.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Call it Baby Duncan.
Okay, well now I'm gonna. So we don't usually get into this in the movies we do, but the scholars go a little nutso on this movie.
Oh yeah.
There was one that said, let's see, John Kenneth Muir said it's specifically about the warped relationship that Billy's Aunt Cheryl has with him. He points out several motifs surrounding this theme, such as the milk Cheryl uses to drug him, a symbol of her twisted motherhood.
Yep.
Billy is rendered impotent by the milk, infantilized by Cheryl's inappropriate.
See, I was gonna literally say. I was gonna say that word. Mm-hmm.
If
Yep.
I would have heard you say inimical administrations, I would have.
Wow.
Anyway, but
that's exactly it. I know it seems. I know we look at it and see it one way, but I could see.
Sure.
That as messed up as it is, it's really not sexual in her mind. And I know that's even crazier and it's hard to understand, but she played it perfectly.
The thing I was going to bring up earlier, the thing that kind of gave that away for me was when he was laying on his stomach and his back was exposed, and she runs up and she tickles him up his back. Yeah, like a mom would a little baby that's
leans over and makes cooing. She leans over and makes these weird cooing noises.
Yeah, kitty cat sounds.
But
to show you how crazy she is, and because I hadn't watched beyond this scene at the bottom, I didn't realize. When I saw it the first time, I thought she was really trying to seduce this guy, and she just, obviously picked the wrong guy. But no, this whole thing was to try to, she didn't know he was gay, so he was going to start having sex with her. And then as soon as Jimmy came in the door and she timed it right so that he would be coming in the door, then she was going to pretend that she was being raped by this guy. This was a whole big plan here.
Yeah, to stop him from going.
To stop him from going away to school, right?
It doesn't even, it's like, oh, well, in her warped head, that would work.
And she's like, you don't need to go to school.
Probably
you already learned that stuff. That's full of perverts.
That's for smart people and rich people, and you're neither. Thanks, Aunt Cheryl.
This critic too, John Kenneth Muir, also said it engages a little bit with an American stereotype that overbearing mothers produce gay sons, and that all these the cop and these other people are questioning his sexuality. Well, the cop was an idiot.
Everybody else was gay but the son.
That other cop was like, I don't think he's gay.
No. Well, I was saying that to be funny because all these other characters either didn't know they were gay or were gay.
Yeah.
But
that's the one thing, though.
So, I mean, I found all this information on the aunt, and I don't think he has anything to do with it.
No, it was a gay triangle. I figured it all out. That's the one thing, it does make it believable that when they, the jury took 2 hours and found him innocent, and is like, well, that seems kind of unlikely. He shot a cop in cold blood. But everyone hated this guy.
Yep.
Everyone hated this guy.
Plus, we didn't film what happened after the end.
Yeah.
So they just put up the little screen.
And really, that cop was like, had no reason to freaking keep coming out. I mean, he was harassing him. He was insane.
Oh, yeah.
That cop was insane. And then when he had like the Latin dude there, and he's like, "Where's your home?" And he's like, "Here." He's like, "No. Where's your home in Mexico?"
Takes out a gun, points it at him.
He's not even just a bigot; he's a racist. Yeah. Like they wanted to make sure that you knew that he deserved to die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think I had the feeling that they did that because they had to have somebody worse than Susan Terrell, so you'd have some sympathy for her character. Yeah. So they had to have somebody who was just dripping slime and evil and just wasn't any good at all.
And for him to have the nerve to ask the girlfriend if they were having sex is just disgusting. Mm-hmm. That's disgusting. Like, it's like you're assuming she's a 16 or 17-year-old girl, okay? And you have this cop, and he's literally on top of her.
How often you do it? How often do you do it?
Let me tell you how good this fucking movie is, okay? This is how clever these filmmakers are with the storytelling. No, like, I'm really good with stories. Like, this is kind of my thing. And I know I've mentioned this already twice, and I'm mentioning it third time, but she's here and he is like literally on top of her. Yeah. So you realize the implications and what is really like happening here. He's like dominating her. She's a child. It's just, it's really good in that way. It's really good in its storytelling. It's really clever. And I think this film is actually pretty brilliant. I know that sounds crazy because it's insane, but it is.
Another critic said the character of Billy as an inversion of the final girl and that it makes
Mhm.
turns Julia Duffy's character into the helpful boyfriend role.
Yeah,
That's
Oftentimes,
interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
reverse roles.
and it does
for
kind
sure.
of
Yep.
anyway. Yeah, just that's not even half of the stuff I found.
Oh yeah.
about
This,
Oh,
this.
no, this has
I
been a
could
very
see how people would
Oh,
analyze this.
the poker. He kills her with a poker, which is a phallic symbol.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
All right, well, let's see. Susan Terrell. Oh Lord, yeah, this is.
Look at her; she's fabulous.
And you didn't. Is that picture on the left? Is that from Forbidden Zone? Is that?
I don't think so. No, I think I have another. I think I may have another.
Oh yes, you do.
That's just her. That's probably just her lounging around on a Thursday.
So
That's
she
how
was
I
in
imagine this
Angel and the follow-up, which was Avenging Angel,
Mhm.
and then from A Whisper to a Scream, that Vincent Price anthology where he's sort of narrates it from his den, and then Flesh and Blood. What is that? Is that a?
That's a. I think it's a Rucker Hauer, like a
Oh yeah, a
Viking
timeless
or
adventure fantasy.
yeah. I haven't actually seen it.
A
but I
passion
want
for
to.
wealth and power. Only the strongest will survive, and he's carrying a sword on the front of it. But then we have Forbidden Zone.
Just
What the
yes.
hell?
exactly.
What the hell is that?
It
It's a
looks like
musical?
somebody trying to compete with Crybaby director John
Yeah,
Mohr.
well, it
Yeah.
really is like an adult Pee Wee Herman-esque live action cartoon.
That's
Just go on
wild.
YouTube and look up like her song and dance sequence. I think it was directed and the music composed by Danny Elfman, I think.
Oh,
I think you're
wow.
right. I remember seeing that. yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's wild. Jesus.
It's pretty crazy.
When did that come out?
I think in the 80s, I think.
I don't
So
know.
we'll have to do it sometime. But it's not like much
I
else.
think
out
it's
there.
on at least one of the musical numbers. The whole thing might be on YouTube, but at least one of
Yeah.
the musical numbers is there too.
It became. I remember it would be on the midnight shows.
Too much.
There was a
too-
time in the 80s when it wasn't just Rocky Horror. There were a number of pretty interesting movies
Mhm.
that they put out as midnight shows. Some of them, and this was one of the ones I think that actually kind of struck a chord.
That's how I found out about John Waters' films. Midnight movie.
Oh, that's right. It actually came out in 1980. It was before this, so
Hmm.
and before Crybaby. Yeah,
So Forbidden Zone came out before Butcher
1980.
Baker? Well, I guess so then. Math checks out. Huh. She looks older.
She looks
here.
older. Yeah.
Queen Doris
Mhm.
of the
It's the makeup. And let me tell you, I
Yeah.
wear like the more makeup you wear, the older someone looks. I know
Mm.
it's crazy, but look at it's all that makeup. I mean, and in Crybaby, she looks insane. She
Mhm.
looks so crazy.
Mhm.
Like, God, Crybaby was amazing, y'all. Whatever. That
Yeah.
film's fabulous. Hatchet face. Hatchet
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
She's awesome. She's one of the reasons I like Angel,
Yeah.
right along with Dick Shawn and Rory Calhoun. All right, where are we at? Well, we got to go back. We got these other guys in here. So
Yeah, we got
Bo
some
Svensson.
Bo Svensson.
I
Big
remember him
man.
in Kill Bill too. What was he? in?
I believe, unless I'm wrong, was he not the guy at the church who's going to be officiating the wedding? Is
oh,
talking with Beatrice about the various things. Oh,
It's
he's
been a
older.
while since I've
Been a while.
seen it.
Beyond the
Well,
Door
and
3.
I wouldn't remember that character, unfortunately. I could not tell you. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at this.
And
Well, he's
unless I'm
also in
wrong,
Glorious Bastard.
yes, I think that's that one on the right. Quell
Love
Mount. I think
Glorious
that's
Oh yes, yeah, probably, yeah.
and of course, but the one that made him famous was Walking Tall, playing Buford Pusser.
I thought I read in his thing that was the when he was in that TV show, he was the highest paid actor in TV.
What
Wow.
TV show was that?
That's nice.
Walking Tall.
There was a Walking Tall TV show.
Yeah, just like
Oh.
one season, I think. I don't think it was very long.
Hmm.
Chad, you're not piping in. I thought you would sound like something you might have watched.
What, Walking Tall?
Yeah.
The movie
TV series.
TV.
There was only 7 episodes of it.
Well, I'm glad he was paid well because he didn't get paid long. But he was great in this. Bo Svensson really wasn't on my radar as a good actor, but they should have been having him play characters like, not necessarily exactly like this, but like Crystal said, he's so physically imposing.
Yeah.
He makes a great heavy. He makes a great bad guy, because if he's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
guy, who's going to beat him? He's
Well,
gigantic.
I don't think he could pull off a good guy because he is so big. And I don't think he could pull off the leading man because he's so big. The problem is, like, at a certain height, you're a problem because you're just going to look ridiculous next to your person of interest. Like, smaller people look better on camera anyway. It's just a thing.
Well, but
So-
sometimes it works. Like James Arness was also a pretty big guy, wasn't he? He was the Thing in the original Thing. So like when he's playing Buford Pusser, this is a larger than life character. He's big, and you're right. It's not a fair fight, but of course he's taking on the mob, or he's taking on numbers. So
he's a perfect bad guy, though. Like,
Yeah.
He is a great bad guy. He sure is.
The real Buford Pusser looked more like Lou Costello than Bo Svensson,
Well,
Or
artistic.
Joe
license.
Don
Yeah.
Baker.
or Joe Don Baker either.
Okay, so here's a little trivia thing. He was in both versions of The Inglorious Bastards.
Oh, that's awesome.
There was an Italian version in the 70s directed by Enzo Castellari, and he co-starred with Fred Williamson.
Hmm.
And then he was in
That's actually a fun movie.
the Tarantino flick here.
What did he play in the Tarantino movie?
It just said American Colonel, so I don't know how big a part he had, but
Maybe
just the fact that he's in there. Tarantino did that with Django Unchained too. He had the original.
yeah,
Django show
Franco
up.
Nero.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see quick. Okay, Kill Bill. Well, that says the whole bloody affair. Reverend Harmony. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Jeez, I don't
Kill
think
Bill.
I ever recognized him.
No, I sure didn't.
And he was in a movie we did not too long ago on 70s.
Snow Beast.
Snow Beast. Yes.
God, that was terrible.
TV movie. But I'll tell you what. He does a great job of this, being this. God, you just hate this guy.
Oh.
He is the most judgmental and bigoted asshole.
Like, it's bad. Like, he's just and he's mean to everyone he even works with.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe they even put up with him. They just take it from him, and that's why he got off. Okay.
So Britt Leach, this cop, he was he actually comes up with evidence.
Yeah.
And he just I don't even go home. In fact, go on vacation. I don't even care if I see you again.
It's like, I hope you're not gathering this evidence on
funny.
government time, pal. Jeez.
So he was in Weird
really
Science.
funny.
Britt, he's one of those guys you recognize, but I could have
Do
never
you
told you his
recognize
name.
him?
he was
But-
he was the dad of
Mm-hmm.
the kid on the
Anthony-
left there, Anthony Michael Hall. Yeah.
In Weird Science.
Yeah. Remember, he was sitting next to his mother, and she goes, "You told me you were brushing your hair." That was the dad. That was him sitting next to her.
The Last Starfighter. He was also in Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Anyway,
And it
bald
was good
look
that he
there.
was in the movie, because it's also good to have, if the only cop we had was Bo Svensson, it would be like, well, there's the stereotypical all cops are bastards kind of thing, and all. It makes a character more evil when he is not a typical representation of, it's like one of the few complaints I have about, say, Day of the Dead, is that all the soldiers are bad. There's not a single good one in the bunch. It would make Rhodes stand out as being more evil if he was a particularly bad, soldier. But they're all bad.
he was in. This could have some connection too. He was in Jackson County Jail.
Ah, Wow. So he managed to work with both directors.
Yeah, as a bartender, maybe working with him got the job.
Yeah.
with Miller before he got fired. Or he's just a good actor that got hired. All right.
I think he's fantastic. I do
yeah.
remember him and stuff. I just don't. I know I never knew his name. He's a character actor,
Yeah.
really.
Well, he's
Yeah, he
one of
gets
those
his-
that guy in that thing kind of actors.
He gets his hand lopped off, which is like the only actual machete blow that
Mhm.
hit. She was so wild with that machete, just
Yeah.
it was just insane.
No finesse.
I kept expecting her to lop somebody's head off, but it never went that way. She never. All right, Bill Paxton. Oh, he plays that sort of lip curling,
Yeah.
snide dude really well.
Well, he was also in Weird Science, though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He was in
So
such a
Chuck.
I'm like,
such a
Chet,
good
my
actor. Such a
favorite.
Chet, yeah, Chet.
loss that we lost him early. And I
I didn't.
I-
I,
every
gotta be
time-
honest with you. I didn't recognize him. I didn't realize
Really?
it was him. No.
every time he's in a movie, I have to, give
was
my
always
kudos
kinda
to
old to me.
Frailty. I love Frailty.
Yeah, I do too.
Love that movie.
I do.
Got
too.
to see.
His one, I think that was one of the only things he directed.
You know, he should not be dead, and that is.
Oh
the
no,
most
he should
upsetting thing.
absolutely not be dead.
Freaking upsets me so much. I can't tell you because I think he's
It shouldn't have
phenomenal.
happened. And now he was up for the Jimmy McNichol role, but they
Yeah.
thought they needed to go with someone who's been on the cover of Tiger Beat.
Yeah.
Mm.
But he's perfect as the poop head. Like that's
He is.
well.
He is
As he got
perfect.
older, he was better as like the good guy. Twister.
Well, he does it in Aliens
but-
too, isn't he? Kind of a
Game over, man.
yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
whiny.
Damn, the best line ever.
But he went out like a hero, though.
He did.
Yeah, that's
He did.
right.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Love
great
that
in
dude.
Big Love, too.
So he doesn't have.
Yeah,
Oh
very
my
yeah, he
god!
was good
I
in that.
love. I'm
Mhm.
Mormon. I grew up Mormon, so like it was like particularly a thing I watched, and I was like, of course we did not practice polygamy. Most
No,
don't,
most
but
Mormons
that
don't,
whole
no.
thing was crazy.
Yeah.
and that was kind of a sad ending, actually. Mhm.
Yeah, it was.
That was a
I-
good TV show, and it's a testament to his talent that you're not really inclined to like that guy, but then
You do.
you start
I
watching
know.
the show, and it's like, listen, I still don't think this is a good
Yeah.
lifestyle, but I like
Well,
this character.
None of
everybody
my
was
business.
when his death scene in Aliens. Everybody was cheering him because he did such a character turn
Mhm.
in it, from being the smart ass chicken
Yeah,
guy to well, he turned out to be the one that started blasting aliens and going down
oh, you want some?
going down
Yeah,
with the
he's
ship.
great.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So this is in. As we're recording, this is on Wicked Horror TV, Hoopla, Tubi, and Shudder. And on Shudder, you can watch the standalone, or you can watch the Last Drive-In version. And it even has it. I guess they do that with all of them. They have the Just Joe Bob thing where you can just watch the
Yeah.
45 minutes of
Oh,
Joe
well,
Bob.
that's cool too.
And then they tell you when the break was, like what part of where it was in the movie.
That's
So,
good fun.
yeah. Yeah, he dug it, and he was kind of with that same thought. This just has so many. I just everything about her. Every time something happened, like that neighbor too. She's
Yeah. Now, she seems so familiar to me, and I'm like, I must have seen her in 100 things. And I looked it up. It's like, no. I mean, she guest starred on a lot of shows, and maybe that's where I remember her from. But she was so perfect. She was really good.
what was her name was it Marsha Lewis. She played Margie.
Yeah.
Margie.
Now, she wasn't
Um,
smart enough to get out while the getting was good, but okay,
Mm.
And Crystal, you mentioned earlier, I just love the part when she hacks off her hair and Margie's like, "Oh, it looks it's so
Your hair. And she's like, you like it?
Yeah,
I think it makes me look younger. Like she's crazy when she's like, I think it makes me look younger. Like it's crazy. Like that's when you know she's full on gone loon. Like
Well, she realized it too. The neighbor realized it because she was ribbing Jimmy in the ribs, going, "No, it's good. Tell her it's good." You know,
it's the latest thing. Don't you like it? That was great.
Like, yeah, it's so hot.
Another scene I loved was the meat mallet tenderizer scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
because she was doing serious violence to that round steak.
I can't believe Julie survived to the end when she takes a meat mallet to the back of the head, and that looked like a hard whack. And
Well, it
then
was wood,
she got
at least,
smashed
not
in the head a few
metal.
times with a
That's
rock
good.
underwater. I mean, this girl's going to be brain damaged forever.
Well,
there was a
probably,
lot of
but-
blood on the inside of that refrigerator.
So good luck at
Oh,
the
that was
University
great,
of
too.
Denver.
She opened up the refrigerator to get milk out to drug him some more, and then when she puts it back, he goes, "It'll be great. It'll be just like a party." And she's just wiping the blood off the. She is so good.
It's
She
awesome.
is so good. Any other comments about this?
You got to see
Watch
it
it.
if you haven't.
Gotta see
If
it.
you haven't watched it,
Mhm.
it's on almost a lot of streaming services. So
Get
a
the whole
chance to watch
family,
it.
get the kids, Jiffy Pop popcorn, watch.
And in fact, I didn't buy it, but it's available as a 4K Ultra HD from Severin
Oh,
with like 3 different commentary tracks, and I'm like,
well, that's
I might have
interesting.
to go get that, but it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap.
Severin had a table at the Carolina Fear Fest last weekend. They are some nice folks there, and boy, do they have a cool selection. I had to pick up the Mad Doctor of Blood Island collection.
Ah.
Yeah,
Ah,
good stuff.
Crystal goes,
Yeah.
oh, I have no
Sure.
idea what that is. I'm sorry. I should.
All
Maybe.
right. Well,
Yeah.
that's it. So check this out. Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker. Not Candle Maker, Nightmare Maker.
I mean, I love the title. It's so cool. Like, it's just weird, but
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense, but I still like it. I mean, I
What
don't
would be a
care.
good title for this, though? I'm not really sure.
It was nominated for a Saturn Award for Best Horror Movie of 1982 by the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror.
Wow.
But I'll go so far as to say this: it wouldn't be as good as it was without her, Susan Terrell.
Oh, no.
Absolutely
As
not.
as good as the little ideas and stuff that they were coming up with,
Mhm.
twists and turns and stuff. Without her, this movie
Yeah.
it means nothing. Yeah.
Agreed.
Daryl Hannah and Ali Sheedy both auditioned for the role of Julie, the girlfriend,
Oh wow.
back in 81. And Jimmy McNichol performed his own stunt when he falls down the attic stairs.
Hmm. Interesting.
All right. And I guess the early versions of the film kept it a little more ambiguous about Susan Terrell as the villain, but you knew right away.
Oh yeah.
They said it kind of created more suspense for
She's-
the audience because
She's
she
shady as shit, though. Come on.
Yeah.
right away when the kids her sister and brother-in-law drive away for their vacation or whatever.
Oh yeah, the way she looks.
she turns and looks at him like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If she had a
She's like-
mustache, she'd be twirling it.
You're mine now, boy.
All right. Well, we do have some feedback.
Yay!
Oh yeah.
Got
Yay.
feedback. Yay. Okay, and I think Bill should read the first one. 271 Cannibal Farax from Panda Eyes 42.
Banned in 31 countries.
All caps and exclamation point. Now I don't know if I'm pretty, maybe we never said that. I think we said that, but I don't know.
Of course, some of those countries like North Korea, everyone's banned there. So
I didn't know if he was like, if this is anyway. It's not a commentary on we shouldn't have covered it because it was banned in 31 countries. Nah. 281. Episode 281, Day of the Dead, from Andy L. And this is responding to a comment from Travis McDonald, who said to avoid at all costs the 2008 remake of Day of the Dead. And then he said a Bob Crane, Bobcat, and Goldthwait home movie collaboration would be more enjoyable than this
Wow.
bionic turd. One man's opinion. Now,
Wow.
Andy writes in to defend Bobcat and Goldthwait. So, Chad, you want to take that one?
Hi, crew. Just wanted to take a moment to stand up for Bobcat. I know a somewhat negative comment was made about him in the feedback section. While I know his comedy persona has an acquired taste that not everyone likes, I still want to defend his output. Willow Creek is not the greatest Bigfoot movie ever, but still an interesting effort. I think a lot of his other output has been very good. And the genre Misfits and Monsters was a very entertaining anthology series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure,
Yes.
Agreed. Yes.
Yeah, I used to love watching Bobcat stand up, and I did like some of his movies. He had one where it was one of the Murray brothers, Bill Murray's brother, as was running for president or something like that. I can't remember the name of it.
Well,
But
there's more here. I don't know if you mentioned.
Yeah, you're not done. You know that,
You're not
right?
done at all.
Oh, okay. I just thought
Entertaining anthology series. Then his
Yeah.
movies.
well, golly, you spank me on the bottom, why don't you? You know, I've had enough of this goddamn podcast.
Yeah.
His movies are always thought-provoking, if somewhat controversial. Since World's Greatest Dad, that was the name of the movie, was a very good late Robin Williams vehicle. Shakes the Clown, a well-done dark comedy, while God Bless America is a scathing study on rage. And while the premise might put off a lot of people, Sleeping Dogs Lie is actually a great discussion on hypocrisy and people's reactions to behaviors. Not a gratuitous exploitive film on bestiality that you might think from a quick read of the synopsis. He actually writes and directs some really good stuff and shouldn't be judged purely on his stand-up and Police Academy persona. Andy
Agreed.
L.
Yeah, I'm
True.
okay with the stand-up stuff, but I should, and I liked Willow Creek. I should check out some of these other ones. I just haven't. So
Yeah, God
There you
Bless
go.
America is the one I was talking about.
Ah,
So good, so good. It was a great movie.
thanks, Andy. I appreciate that. He's always
nobody wrote in to
filling
defend
me
Bob
in.
Crane's home movies, though, did they?
No.
No. Travis can take it. I know Travis can take it. We have good discussions. From Robert Baker on Day of the Dead, Crystal.
Okay. On the gore in this film, I can't say which I like better. If I'm being truthful, Dawn and Day are just too special to me, along with Night of the Living Dead, of course. And what the scary part of this movie is, humans really do act like this in real world crisis situations. Just saying, a lot of roads are out there. Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Yes, there are.
Yeah. And people wonder why I'm the way I am. That's why. Hello.
Humans.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Episode 282, The Monster Squad, also from Robert Baker. Bill.
Robert Baker says, pretty much without the real monsters, this could have been my childhood. From reading old copies of famous monsters, creepy, eerie, and all those other great horror comics and books, to watching any monster or horror movie I could find growing up, I did it all. As it says on the bathroom wall in Night of the Creeps, go Monster Squad.
All right.
Yep.
Cool.
And then we've got a couple copies on, they sort of combined episodes 283 and 284, Critters 1 and 2. Robert Baker says, Chad.
Thought I would combine these since I'm a bit behind. Been traveling and it's made it hard to listen regularly, but now that I'm back home, I can catch up on recent episodes. Actually, don't have much to say about these movies. I enjoy them a lot and used to watch a taped off cable copy of Critters 2 quite a lot back in the day. 3 and 4 I watch occasionally, but the first two are a whole lot of fun. I miss movies like this. Now on to some other past episodes. Take care, all.
Appreciate it, Robert.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple here. One is on Critters 1 and 2 from James Hudson, 5120. Crystal.
Thanks, Hudson. I loved both this and the first one. Can't remember much of the other two apart for where they are set. I have to say I completely agree with that. As I was reading that, I'm like, what is 3 and 4? I also loved when the critters talk to each other and their reactions. That's one of the best part. And how
Yeah,
they
me
cuss
too.
at each other. They
Yeah.
cuss. And
And the one got his hair blown off, and he says,
Yeah.
"Shit, shit."
it's so good. Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
James.
Appreciate that, Mr. Hudson. Then we have a couple on episode 285, Intruder, Bill, also from James Hudson.
Okay, but I'm going to have to fix. I'm pretty sure there's a typo in the second line here because it
R?
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so just correct it when you read
Yeah.
it. That's what I do.
Okay. But now, if I totally
Like
got it
there,
wrong,
like
James,
like
sorry.
there, and yeah,
um,
like the there was wrong and the there.
no,
was
this is
wrong,
way off the.
But
A man chased by loads of braids down the Roa. I think I know where we're going here. I remember watching it when the uncut version came out over in the UK and enjoying it. There are a few films where a man is chased by loads of brides down the road.
mm-hmm.
That makes
I
sense.
see.
One had Chris O'Donnell called The Bachelor. Also,
Who's
the
Chris
great
O'Donnell?
Buster Keaton in 7 Chances. Yes, yes, that's a great one. Loving the show. Hope one day you are able to bring horror news
The
back and do
Bachelor.
modern films.
I think
Thank
I
you,
do know who
James.
Chris O'Donnell is.
He
I
was
think
Robin.
he was back. He
Batman
was.
and
I was
Robin.
about to say.
Yeah.
I almost got it. I was close.
I think he was in one of the CSI LA too, wasn't he?
Hmm.
Wasn't he the partner with LL Cool J? Okay, hope, and you know what? We've got several things, ideas on this. Hope one day you're able to bring horror news back and do modern films. And I sent some of these to Doc, and he said it was in the works. So I have no idea what that
All right.
means or when, but that would be great. And from Jose Luis Herrera Lepron, Chad.
Regarding this film, I've never heard of it. Horror.
Ugh,
I'm slipping.
Uh-oh.
Don't want to
Yep.
disappoint the crew. So regarding Critters, I've never seen it, but I sure looked at the VHS box a lot while working at the video store in the late 80s. I've never heard a bad review of the film, and I need to watch it. You damn right you do.
honestly, like, and I'm for
Okay,
sure.
Jose, I've noticed a trend here lately where there's been a lot of comments where you say, "Don't take my horror monster kid card away," but I've never seen this. All right. Well, I guess that means we were at episode 285. We're past all the most of the common ones.
Yeah.
There's a
Well,
few
look
left.
at this movie here. None of us had seen it. We all loved it. So there's still some good stuff out there waiting to be found.
I was just noticing there was Necromantics on.
Oh, yeah.
now.
And 2.
And we haven't
Oh.
done that. Yeah,
Oh,
but that's
yay.
the 90s. The first
is
is
it?
in the
Okay.
80s. Mhm.
Speaking of this is off the subject a little bit, but I know Crystal enjoyed the latest Final Destination. Is it
Oh, yeah.
Bloodlines?
Bloodlines.
So I was
Mhm.
wanting to go see that, but I hadn't seen all the other ones, so I binged them the last 2
Oh, wow.
days.
Oh God, yeah.
So now you know why
I'm
the
just
rest of us
telling
will
ya.
not drive behind a log truck.
Yeah, they're all on Max, and I have a hell of a time driving anywhere now. I'm like looking at everything, and what's the one thing I did that I forgot?
Yeah.
to
So you
do?
don't need to see them to see Bloodlines.
I'm
not
sure
really.
you don't. Yeah, I'm sure you don't.
But it will help. Like, still,
It's
it's
definitely
not. It doesn't hurt. This is
Isn't-
way better than. I
Any-
honestly think it's my favorite. I think. It's my
I think the
favorite
first one is the best, and then they started.
I agree.
The CGI got kind of out of control, especially with the racetrack one. The CGI was horrible.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
number 2 is my favorite.
Number 2 is good too. 1 and 2 are very good.
This one's the best. It is
Okay.
the funniest thing I have
I'll go.
seen in ages. Like, y'all, this movie is so freaking funny. I can't handle it. And
I was-
Tony Todd's stuff was very
And
sad.
it keeps
thought-
getting funnier every single time I see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was talking with my granddaughters the other day that are, well, they're both 21 now. 21. One's 21 and one's 22. I think she'll be 23 here in a couple weeks. But about horror movies, and it's funny how they remember stuff. I asked them if any of their friends had seen Sinners. No, I don't think so.
What?
And I said, well, it's about this. And then these two guys are twins, and they're played by Michael B. Jordan. Oh, the Michael B. Jordan movie. Yeah. My friends, they love that. And then I asked them, I said how Bring Her Back was coming out this Friday, which is made by the same people that did Talk to Me. They Talk to Me. What's Talk to Me? And I said, that's the hand one. Oh, the hand movie.
Because they haven't seen them.
Well, it's funny what trend catches them, So anyway.
So Bring Her Back is not as good as Talk to Me, but it's still good. It's just not as good. This movie's depressing, super depressing. Like Talk to Me had some hope. Sorry, y'all. I'll talk about the new movies all. Sinners I loved. It was fantastic. It's a musical, though. If you don't like musicals, don't go see it. If you don't like music,
I loved it.
But yeah, me too.
Even
it wasn't
doesn't like
yeah,
musicals.
and I hate musicals.
Yeah.
Who else? Gregory Crosby liked it a lot too.
But it was the blues. That's what made it. That's what did it for me.
I liked the Irish though, dude, too.
Yeah,
I thought that was fun. Yeah, the vamp. I don't want to say anything.
All right, so
Stuff away.
there's plenty of ways to stay in touch. We appreciate the comments today from Jose, James Hudson, Robert Baker, and Andy L. and Panda Eyes. I love it.
And
Could I just say real quick? I want to say thanks to all the listeners to the show that sent me happy birthday wishes, and not only on Facebook, but a couple of guys sent private messages, and they were just the sweetest, nicest things I've ever read in my life.
That's awesome.
And I feel like Sally Field. You love me. You really love me.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes, no. Chad. Yes.
No, I just want to thank everybody for doing that. It meant a lot.
You have that. I'm not really comparing you two, but you kind of have a certain feel of you, kind of like the Black Saint, where you can be grouchy and curmudgeonly, but everybody knows you have a heart of gold.
Oh, yeah, sure. That sounds oddly.
No, it's usually
good.
Pretty black-hearted.
Yeah. I mean,
anyways,
just because I always think of to do the best thing second, but the worst thing always pops up first.
Oh, you don't want to be in the car riding with me. You do not want to be in the car riding with me. There's a lot of ways to stay in touch. So thanks to all the people that had commented. The best way is to go to the Gruesome Magazine YouTube channel and make comments there. But you can also send an email to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com, or even check us out in the Gruesome Magazine HNR and DOH podcast Facebook group. So please do that. We also have a Patreon group, and for a few dollars a month, less than $5, I think. I don't know exactly what the cutoff is. You would get Decades of Horror the day after it's recorded, usually. Once in a while, 2 days after it's recorded, when the rest of the world doesn't get to hear them until 12 days to 2 weeks after they're recorded. So, and for 70s, we did every episode of Kolchak the Night Stalker on the Patreon channel, and those have never gone public. So check those out. All right, that's it for this episode, but we'll be back in 2 weeks with another film between 1980 and 1989. Next up, we tackle one chosen by Bill, which I found has some interesting connections.
Yes, and this was not intentional. It's just one of those weird things.
What's the movie you picked?
With all the evil and monsters and horrible characters, Bo Svensson's in the world, we need a hero. Someone to protect us from all this. And who better than Chuck Norris? So our next one is Silent Rage, directed by the guy who was supposed to direct this movie, Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, but he did get to direct Silent Rage, Michael Miller, with Chuck Norris, Ron Silver, Stephen Keats. And the plot is a sheriff tries to stop the killing spree of a silent, maniacal murderer who, as a result of a secret genetic experimentation by an unethical scientist, has the ability to self-heal. Good move. Good move, scientists.
Whoa.
And did
Yeah.
you recognize that name?
Which one?
Stephen
Norris?
Keats,
No. What was that? Who was that?
The Last Dinosaur.
Oh, duh. Yeah, that's
Isn't
right.
that the guy from The Last Dinosaur?
Yeah. So wow. So it's two movies
You
that I
got two
recently.
crossovers, yeah, from that we did on 70s.
And you know what? I haven't seen this. I am not really the biggest Chuck Norris movie fan, though. You know, I certainly admire the man. And I would be afraid to say otherwise. You know, right after shooting, shooting Silent Rage, it's interesting. Chuck Norris went to the Virgin Islands, and they are now just known as the Islands.
Oh no, I knew he was about to. Yeah. Okay.
I'll tell my story of why Chuck Norris is a butthole.
Oh, do it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, do it. Well, we'll save
Yeah.
it for the show.
Yeah,
I'll
You're
save that
right,
for the
you're
show.
right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Okay.
I've never been a fan of his, but I'm looking forward to this movie because I want to see something and an obvious, I guess, action picture.
I would hope.
Directed by the guy that directed that car scene.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
As soon as I find out Chuck Norris made a sort of science fiction horror movie, I'm like, this may be a stinker, but I got to watch it.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
All right. Well, that's it, everybody. Thanks to all the Grue believers. Thanks, Crystal, Bill, and Chad. Always
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Someday I will send out emails and stuff, and there will be no mistakes. But I wouldn't count on it.
Oh,
Say
It's
goodnight.
okay. Night,
good
everyone.
night.
Good night.
Gruesome Magazine.